Ah, young one, gather round and listen well. In the twilight of my years, I have seen many a tale unfold. Tales woven with threads of betrayal, shattered trust, and the bitter strife that can rend a family asunder. This story, like those old wounds that never quite heal, speaks of a sharp, calculated revenge born from the deepest of betrayals. It is the account of a soul who, when cast aside and sidelined at a sister-in-law's wedding, a moment meant for joy, chose instead to walk away, leaving behind a silence that echoed louder than any words. And oh, how those who wronged her came to regret their actions, for the price of betrayal is often paid in full, with interest. Such is the tale I share with you now. Betrayal by close family members is one of the most painful experiences a person can endure. It cuts deeper than any wound inflicted by strangers, because it comes from those we hold dear, those we trust implicitly, and those we expect to stand by us through thick and thin. When betrayal occurs within the family, it shakes the very foundation of one's sense of security and belonging. The family is supposed to be a sanctuary, a place where unconditional love and support are given freely, where loyalty is a given, and where one can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or harm. But when that trust is broken, the impact is profound and far-reaching. In the context of a wedding, which is traditionally a joyous occasion meant to unite families and celebrate love, betrayal by close family members can be especially devastating. Weddings are often seen as milestones that bring people together. However, when betrayal seeps into such an event, it taints the atmosphere, turning what should be a celebration into a battlefield of emotions. The person who is betrayed may feel isolated, humiliated, and deeply wounded, as the very people who should be their allies instead become the source of their pain. Betrayal within a family can take many forms. It might be overt, such as exclusion from important decisions, spreading of rumors, or deliberate acts of sabotage. It can also be more subtle, like cold shoulders, whispered conversations behind one's back, or the silent treatment. Regardless of the form it takes, the effect is the same: a profound sense of being wronged by those who should have been protectors and supporters. This sense of betrayal often leads to a crisis of identity and belonging, as the betrayed individual struggles to reconcile the love they once felt with the hurt they now experience. The emotional toll of betrayal by family members is immense. It can lead to feelings of anger, sadness, confusion, and despair. The betrayed person may question their own worth and wonder why those closest to them would choose to hurt them. This internal conflict can be exhausting and isolating, as the individual grapples with the dual reality of loving their family and feeling deeply betrayed by them. The pain is compounded by the fact that family relationships are often long-standing and complex, making it difficult to simply walk away or sever ties without significant emotional cost. Trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. In family dynamics, trust is the glue that holds relationships together. When that glue is cracked or shattered, the pieces do not easily come back together. The betrayed individual may find themselves constantly on guard, wary of further hurt and betrayal. This defensive posture can create distance and tension within the family, further complicating relationships and making reconciliation challenging. The fear of being hurt again can prevent open communication and honest dialogue, which are essential for healing. Moreover, betrayal by family members often involves a sense of injustice. The betrayed person may feel that they have been unfairly treated or that their feelings and contributions have been disregarded. This sense of injustice can fuel resentment and bitterness, which, if left unaddressed, can poison family relationships for years to come. The emotional scars left by betrayal can influence how the individual interacts with family members, may act out of self-interest, seeking to advance their own agendas at the expense of others. This can manifest in attempts to sideline or diminish the importance of certain individuals, as was the case in the story of being sidelined at a sister-in-law's wedding. Such actions are not only hurtful, but also deeply disrespectful, as they undermine the dignity and worth of the person targeted. The calculated nature of these betrayals often reveals a cold, strategic mindset that prioritizes personal gain over familial harmony. The ripple effects of betrayal extend beyond the immediate family members involved. Other relatives and friends may be drawn into the conflict, forced to take sides or navigate the tension. This can create a toxic environment where alliances shift and loyalties are tested. The social fabric of the family becomes frayed, and gatherings that once brought joy may become sources of anxiety and discomfort. The betrayal thus has a communal impact, affecting not just the individuals directly involved, but the wider network of relationships. It is important to recognize that betrayal by family members is not always intentional or malicious. Sometimes, misunderstandings, miscommunications, or differing perspectives can lead to feelings of betrayal. However, the perception of betrayal is just as real and painful as the act itself. The emotional response is valid and must be acknowledged and addressed. Healing from such wounds requires empathy, patience, and a willingness to confront difficult truths. In the face of betrayal, individuals often experience a profound sense of loss, not just of trust, but of the family they thought they had. The idealized image of a loving, supportive family is shattered, replaced by a more complicated and painful reality. This loss can trigger a grieving process similar to mourning the death of a loved one. The betrayed person must come to terms with the fact that their family may never be the same, and that they may need to redefine their relationships and boundaries. Despite the pain, betrayal by family members can also be a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. It forces individuals to examine their own values, boundaries, and expectations. It can lead to a stronger sense of self and a clearer understanding of what one will and will not tolerate in relationships. In some cases, it prompts the betrayed person to seek support outside the family, building new networks of trust and connection. Ultimately, betrayal by close family members is a complex and deeply emotional experience that challenges the very core of one's identity and sense of belonging. It is a wound that cuts deep, but it also holds the potential for transformation. The journey through betrayal is painful and difficult, but it can lead to greater resilience, self-awareness, and, in time, a redefined sense of family and trust. Broken trust at a significant family event is a wound that lingers long after the occasion has passed. Trust is the foundation upon which all meaningful relationships are built, especially within families. When that trust is broken during a moment that is supposed to symbolize unity, love, and celebration, the impact is magnified exponentially. Family events, such as weddings, reunions, or milestone celebrations, are meant to bring people together, to reinforce bonds, and to create memories that last a lifetime. However, when trust is shattered in these moments, it not only disrupts the event itself, but also leaves lasting scars on the relationships involved. Trust within a family is often taken for granted. It is assumed that family members will act with honesty, respect, and consideration for one another's feelings. This implicit trust allows individuals to be vulnerable, to share their joys and sorrows, and to rely on each other in times of need. When this trust is broken, especially in a public or significant setting, it feels like a betrayal, not just of an individual, but of the entire family unit. The person who experiences this breach may feel exposed, humiliated, and deeply hurt, as the violation occurs in front of others who witness the fracture. A significant family event, such as a wedding, carries with it a heightened emotional charge. It is a day filled with expectations, hopes, and dreams for the future. The people involved often invest considerable time, effort, and emotion into making the event perfect. When trust is broken in such a context, it can feel like all that effort has been undermined. The joyous atmosphere is replaced by tension, awkwardness, or outright conflict. The person whose trust has been broken may find it difficult to enjoy the event or to feel connected to those around them. Broken trust at a family event can manifest in various ways. Spasan. It might be through exclusion from important roles or decisions, public humiliation, or the revelation of secrets that were meant to be kept private. Sometimes it involves subtle acts of disregard, such as ignoring someone's presence or minimizing their contributions. Regardless of the form it takes, the effect is a profound sense of being undervalued and disrespected. This feeling is intensified by the public nature of the event, where the betrayal is witnessed by others, adding a layer of embarrassment and isolation. The emotional consequences of broken trust in such moments are significant. The individual may experience a range of feelings, including shock, disbelief, anger, sadness, and confusion. They may question their place within the family and wonder why those they love would treat them in such a way. This internal turmoil can be overwhelming as the person struggles to reconcile their expectations with the painful reality. The breach of trust can also lead to a loss of confidence and self-esteem as the individual grapples with feelings of rejection and inadequacy. Family dynamics are often complex and layered with history, making the repair of broken trust particularly challenging. When trust is broken at a significant event, it can reopen old wounds and exacerbate existing tensions. The event, which should have been a moment of healing and connection, instead becomes a flashpoint for conflict. Family members may take sides, and alliances may shift, further complicating the situation. The person who has been wronged may feel isolated, as those they expected to support them either remain silent or align with the betrayers. The public nature of family events adds another dimension to the pain of broken trust. Unlike private disputes, where grievances can be addressed away from prying eyes, breaches of trust at family gatherings are often witnessed by extended family, friends, and sometimes even strangers. This exposure can heighten feelings of shame and vulnerability. The individual may feel as though their private pain has been put on display, making it harder to process and heal. The social pressure to maintain appearances and keep the peace can also prevent open communication, leaving wounds unaddressed. In many cases, broken trust at a family event is tied to deeper issues within the family system. It may reflect unresolved conflicts, power struggles, or long-standing resentments. The event becomes a stage where these underlying tensions play out, often in ways that are hurtful and damaging. The person who experiences the breach of trust may be caught in the crossfire of these dynamics, becoming a scapegoat or target for others' frustrations. Understanding the broader context is essential for addressing the root causes and working towards reconciliation. The aftermath of broken trust at a significant family event can be a period of uncertainty and upheaval. The individual may find themselves reevaluating their relationships and boundaries. They may question whether they can continue to trust those who have hurt them, and whether the family can ever be the source of support and love they once believed it to be. This process of reassessment is often painful, but necessary for personal growth and healing. It may lead to difficult decisions about how to engage with family members moving forward. Rebuilding trust after it has been broken is a complex and gradual process. It requires honesty, accountability, and a genuine commitment to change from all parties involved. In the context of a family event, this can be particularly challenging, as emotions are heightened and past grievances may resurface. Effective communication is crucial, as is the willingness to listen and empathize with one another's perspectives. Without these elements, attempts at reconciliation may fall short, leaving the wounds open and the relationships strained. The experience of broken trust at a family event can also have ripple effects beyond the immediate family. It can influence how individuals approach other relationships and social interactions. The pain of betrayal may lead to increased caution, guardedness, or difficulty in forming new bonds. Conversely, it can also inspire a deeper understanding of the importance of trust and the need to nurture it carefully. The lessons learned from such experiences can shape one's approach to relationships for years to come. It is important to acknowledge that broken trust is not always the result of intentional harm. Sometimes, misunderstandings, miscommunications, or differing expectations can lead to feelings of betrayal. The perception of broken trust is as real and impactful as the act itself. Recognizing this can help family members approach conflicts with greater empathy and a desire to understand rather than blame. It opens the door to dialogue and healing, even in the most painful circumstances. The significance of family events lies not only in the celebration, but also in the opportunity to strengthen bonds and create shared memories. When trust is broken during these moments, it threatens the very purpose of the gathering. The individual who experiences this breach may feel that their place in the family has been diminished or erased. This sense of loss can be profound, affecting their emotional well-being and their sense of identity within the family. Navigating the aftermath of broken trust at a family event requires courage and resilience. The individual must confront their pain and decide how to move forward. This may involve setting new boundaries, seeking support from trusted friends or professionals, or engaging in difficult conversations with family members. The path to healing is rarely straightforward, but it is possible with time, effort, and a willingness to face the truth. In some cases, broken trust at a family event can serve as a turning point. It can prompt individuals and families to address long-standing issues and work towards greater understanding and harmony. While the initial pain is undeniable, the experience can ultimately lead to stronger, more authentic relationships. It challenges family members to be more mindful of their actions and the impact they have on one another. The emotional landscape of broken trust at a significant family event is complex and multifaceted. It encompasses feelings of betrayal, loss, anger, and confusion, as well as the hope for healing and reconciliation. The individual who endures this experience must navigate these emotions while also managing the social dynamics of the family gathering. This balancing act can be exhausting and emotionally draining, underscoring the profound impact such breaches of trust can have. Ultimately, broken trust at a family event is a deeply personal and painful experience that reverberates through the lives of those involved. It challenges the very essence of family bonds and tests the resilience of relationships. The journey through this pain is difficult, requiring patience, understanding, and a commitment to healing. It is a reminder of the fragile nature of trust and the importance of nurturing it with care and respect. Feeling sidelined and disrespected within a family setting is a deeply unsettling experience that can leave lasting emotional scars. When one is marginalized or overlooked, especially during significant family occasions, it can evoke feelings of invisibility, insignificance, and profound hurt. Family is supposed to be a source of acceptance and belonging, a place where each member's presence and contributions are valued. Yet, when someone is deliberately or inadvertently sidelined, it disrupts this fundamental expectation and creates a chasm between the individual and the family unit. The sensation of being sidelined often begins subtly. It might start with small gestures, being left out of conversations, not being invited to participate in important decisions, or having one's opinions dismissed or ignored. These seemingly minor slights accumulate over time, creating a pattern of exclusion that is difficult to ignore. In the context of a family event, such as a wedding, these feelings are intensified. Weddings are moments when families come together to celebrate unity and love, and being sidelined during such an event can feel like a public declaration of one's diminished status within the family. Disrespect often accompanies the feeling of being sidelined. Disrespect can manifest in many ways, through dismissive language, condescending attitudes, or outright neglect. When family members treat someone with disrespect, it sends a clear message that the person is not valued or worthy of consideration. This can be especially painful when it comes from those who are supposed to love and support unconditionally. The combination of being sidelined and disrespected creates a toxic environment where the individual feels both invisible and devalued. Feeling sidelined and disrespected can lead to a range of negative emotions, including sadness, anger, frustration, and loneliness. The individual may begin to question their worth and place within the family. They might wonder why they are being treated this way and what they have done to deserve such treatment. This internal questioning can erode self-esteem and lead to feelings of isolation, even when surrounded by family members. In many cases, the experience of being sidelined is compounded by the public nature of family events. When exclusion or disrespect occurs in front of others, it can be humiliating and embarrassing. The individual may feel exposed and vulnerable as their pain is witnessed by extended family, friends, and sometimes even strangers. This public aspect adds a layer of complexity to the emotional response, as the reasons behind sidelining and disrespect within families are often complex and multifaceted. Sometimes it stems from long-standing family dynamics, such as favoritism, jealousy, or unresolved conflicts. Other times, it may be the result of misunderstandings or miscommunications. Regardless of the cause, the effect on the person who is sidelined is the same: a deep sense of hurt and alienation. Understanding the root causes can be helpful in addressing the issue. But it does not diminish the pain experienced. Family hierarchies and roles can also play a significant role in who gets sidelined and who is given prominence. Certain family members may be favored due to their personality, achievements, or relationships with other influential members. Those who do not fit into these preferred roles may find themselves marginalized. This dynamic can create an environment where some voices are amplified while others are silenced, leading to imbalance and resentment. The experience of being sidelined and disrespected can also affect how individuals engage with their family in the future. It may lead to withdrawal, where the person distances themselves emotionally or physically to protect against further hurt. Alternatively, it might provoke confrontation or attempts to assert oneself, which can either lead to resolution or escalate tensions. The way an individual responds depends on their personality, past experiences, and the specific family context. Communication breakdowns often exacerbate feelings of exclusion and disrespect. When family members do not openly discuss their feelings or address conflicts, misunderstandings fester. The sidelined individual may feel unheard and invalidated, while others may be unaware of the impact of their actions. This lack of communication creates a cycle where hurt feelings remain unspoken and unresolved, deepening the divide. The psychological effects of being sidelined and disrespected can extend beyond the family setting. Individuals may carry these wounds into other relationships, affecting their ability to trust and connect with others. They might develop defensive behaviors, such as guardedness or skepticism, to protect themselves from potential rejection. These patterns can hinder the formation of healthy, supportive relationships outside the family. In some cases, the experience of being sidelined can lead to a reevaluation of family ties. The individual may question the value of maintaining close relationships with those who treat them poorly. This can result in setting new boundaries or even distancing oneself from certain family members. While such decisions are often difficult and painful, they can be necessary for emotional well-being and self-respect. The cultural and societal context can also influence how sidelining and disrespect are experienced and addressed. In some cultures, family hierarchy and roles are rigidly defined, and deviation from these norms can lead to exclusion. Social expectations about family loyalty and harmony may discourage open confrontation, making it harder to address feelings of sidelining. Understanding these cultural factors is important in navigating and resolving family conflicts. Support systems outside the family can play a crucial role in helping individuals cope with feelings of being sidelined and disrespected. Friends, mentors, counselors, or support groups can provide validation, perspective, and guidance. These external relationships can offer a safe space to express emotions and develop strategies for healing and empowerment. The process of healing from the pain of being sidelined and disrespected involves several steps. It often begins with acknowledging and validating one's feelings. Recognizing that these emotions are legitimate and understandable is essential. From there, individuals may work on rebuilding self-esteem and developing assertiveness skills to advocate for themselves within the family. Seeking reconciliation or setting boundaries may follow, depending on the circumstances and the willingness of family members to engage. It is also important to recognize that change within family dynamics takes time and effort. Those who have sidelined or disrespected others may need to become aware of their behavior and its impact. This awareness can lead to apologies, changes in behavior, and efforts to rebuild trust. However, not all family members are willing or able to make these changes, which can complicate the healing process. The experience of being sidelined and disrespected can also serve as a catalyst for personal growth. It challenges individuals to examine their values, boundaries, and expectations. It encourages the development of resilience and self-compassion. Through this process, individuals may discover new sources of strength and redefine their sense of identity and belonging. In the context of a wedding or other significant family event, feeling sidelined and disrespected can overshadow the intended joy and celebration. The individual may struggle to participate fully or to share in the happiness of the occasion. This emotional conflict can create tension and discomfort, not only for the person affected, but also for others who witness the dynamics. The long-term effects of sidelining and disrespect within families can be profound. Unresolved feelings of hurt and alienation can lead to estrangement, where family members become distant or cease contact altogether. This loss of connection can be deeply painful, as family ties often represent a fundamental aspect of identity and support. Addressing feelings of being sidelined and disrespected requires courage and vulnerability. It involves confronting painful emotions and, in some cases, difficult conversations. It also requires a willingness to listen and empathize on all sides. When approached with openness and respect, these challenges can lead to greater understanding and stronger relationships. Ultimately, the experience of feeling sidelined and disrespected within a family is a complex and multifaceted issue. It touches on fundamental human needs for recognition, respect, and belonging. Navigating these feelings and their consequences is a difficult journey, but one that holds the potential for healing, growth, and renewed connection. Choosing dignity over confrontation in the face of family conflict is a decision that requires immense strength, self-awareness, and emotional maturity. When tensions run high, especially during significant family events, the instinct to respond with anger, defensiveness, or retaliation can be overwhelming. Yet, opting to maintain one's dignity rather than engage in confrontation often leads to a more empowering and lasting resolution, even if it means walking away from the immediate situation. This choice reflects a deep understanding of one's values and a commitment to preserving self-respect amidst chaos. Family conflicts are often charged with intense emotions because they involve relationships that are deeply personal and long-standing. When trust is broken or one feels wronged, the natural reaction may be to confront the offenders directly, seeking acknowledgement, apology, or justice. However, confrontation can sometimes escalate tensions, leading to further misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and fractured relationships. In such moments, choosing dignity means prioritizing one's inner peace and self-worth over the need to prove a point or win an argument. Maintaining dignity in difficult family situations involves a conscious effort to control one's reactions. It requires resisting the urge to respond impulsively or with hostility. Instead, it calls for measured responses, calmness, and a focus on what truly matters. This does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine. Rather, it means expressing oneself with clarity and respect, without resorting to blame or aggression. By doing so, an individual sets a tone that encourages understanding rather than conflict. Walking away from a confrontation, especially during a significant family event like a wedding, can be one of the most powerful expressions of dignity. It sends a clear message that one will not tolerate disrespect or marginalization, but it also avoids the chaos and pain of a public dispute. This act of self-respect can shift the dynamics within the family, forcing others to reconsider their behavior and the consequences of their actions. It demonstrates that dignity is not dependent on others' approval, but is an internal quality that guides one's choices. Choosing dignity over confrontation also involves setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting one's emotional well-being and maintaining healthy relationships. When family members cross these boundaries, whether through exclusion, disrespect, or betrayal, responding with dignity means asserting those limits firmly and calmly. It may involve stating one's feelings and needs clearly, refusing to engage in harmful behavior, or removing oneself from toxic situations. Boundaries communicate self-respect and help prevent further harm. The decision to prioritize dignity can be challenging because it often requires sacrificing immediate gratification or the satisfaction of confronting wrongdoers. It may feel like letting others win or avoiding necessary conflict. However, dignity is not about winning or losing. It is about preserving one's integrity and self-respect. In the long run, this approach fosters resilience and emotional strength, enabling individuals to navigate family conflicts with grace and confidence. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in choosing dignity over confrontation. It involves recognizing and managing one's emotions, understanding the emotions of others, and responding appropriately. High emotional intelligence allows individuals to remain composed under pressure, empathize with others' perspectives, and communicate effectively. These skills are invaluable in family conflicts, where emotions can run high and misunderstandings are common. Choosing dignity also means recognizing when confrontation is unlikely to lead to a positive outcome. In some family situations, attempts to address issues directly may be met with denial, defensiveness, or further hostility. In such cases, engaging in confrontation can be futile and damaging. Opting for dignity means acknowledging these realities and choosing to protect oneself rather than engage in fruitless battles. It is a form of self-care and wisdom. The impact of choosing dignity over confrontation extends beyond the immediate family conflict. It sets an example for others, demonstrating how to handle difficult situations with maturity and respect. This can influence family dynamics positively, encouraging more thoughtful and compassionate interactions. It also contributes to one's personal growth, reinforcing values such as patience, empathy, and self-control. In some instances, choosing dignity may involve seeking alternative ways to address grievances. This could include private conversations at a later time, mediation, or counseling. These approaches allow for more constructive dialogue away from the heat of the moment. They provide opportunities for healing and reconciliation without the damage that public confrontations can cause. By maintaining dignity, individuals keep the door open for future resolution. The choice to walk away from a family event due to feeling sidelined or disrespected is a profound assertion of dignity. It acknowledges that one's presence and participation should be valued, and that tolerating mistreatment is not acceptable. This decision can be empowering, restoring a sense of control and self-worth. It also challenges the family to reflect on their behavior and the consequences of excluding or disrespecting a member. However, choosing dignity does not mean suppressing one's feelings or avoiding necessary conversations indefinitely. It is a strategic and thoughtful response to conflict, not a permanent retreat. At the appropriate time and place, addressing the issues with honesty and respect can lead to understanding and healing. The foundation of dignity, laid by choosing not to engage in destructive confrontation, creates a healthier environment for these discussions. The emotional aftermath of choosing dignity over confrontation can be complex. Individuals may experience relief, pride, or empowerment, but also sadness, frustration, or loneliness. These feelings are natural and reflect the depth of the situation. Processing these emotions is an important part of healing and moving forward. Support from trusted friends, mentors, or professionals can be invaluable during this time. Cultural and familial expectations can influence how individuals perceive and enact dignity in conflicts. In some cultures, direct confrontation may be discouraged, and maintaining harmony is prioritized. In others, standing up for oneself assertively is valued. Understanding these cultural nuances helps individuals navigate their choices in ways that align with their values and context. Regardless of cultural background, the core principle of dignity, respecting oneself and others, remains universal. Choosing dignity over confrontation also involves forgiveness, not necessarily of others' actions, but of oneself. It means releasing the burden of anger and resentment that can consume one's energy and well-being. Forgiveness in this context is a personal act of liberation, allowing individuals to move beyond the pain and focus on their own growth and happiness. It does not imply condoning harmful behavior, but rather reclaiming peace. The role of self-reflection is central to choosing dignity. It requires individuals to examine their motivations, emotions, and desired outcomes. Reflecting on what dignity means personally helps clarify the best course of action in challenging situations. It encourages intentionality rather than reactive behavior, fostering a sense of agency and empowerment. In family conflicts, power dynamics often complicate the choice between dignity and confrontation. Those who feel marginalized or powerless may struggle to assert themselves. Choosing dignity provides a way to reclaim power by controlling one's responses and maintaining self-respect. It shifts the focus from external validation to internal strength, which is less vulnerable to others' actions. The long-term benefits of choosing dignity over confrontation include healthier relationships, improved emotional well-being, and personal growth. It fosters an environment where respect and understanding are prioritized over conflict and division. While it may not resolve all issues immediately, it lays the groundwork for more constructive interactions and potential reconciliation. Ultimately, choosing dignity over confrontation is a testament to one's character and values. It reflects a commitment to self-respect, emotional intelligence, and the pursuit of peace. In the complex and often painful landscape of family conflict, this choice offers a path toward healing and empowerment that transcends the immediate turmoil. Calculated and impactful revenge is a theme that resonates deeply in stories of betrayal and broken trust, especially within the intimate and often complicated realm of family relationships. Revenge, when carefully planned and executed, serves as a means of reclaiming power and restoring a sense of justice in the face of profound hurt. Unlike impulsive retaliation driven by raw emotion, calculated revenge involves deliberate thought, patience, and strategy. It is a response that seeks not only to address the wrongs suffered, but also to send a clear message to those who caused the pain. In the context of family conflict, revenge takes on a particularly charged significance. Family bonds are expected to be built on love, loyalty, and mutual respect. When these bonds are broken through betrayal or exclusion, the emotional wounds cut deeply. The desire for revenge in such situations is often fueled by feelings of humiliation, anger, and a need to assert one's worth. Calculated revenge becomes a way to regain control in a situation where one has been marginalized or wronged. The process of planning calculated revenge requires a level of emotional detachment and clarity that is difficult to achieve in the heat of the moment. It involves stepping back from the immediate pain and anger to assess the situation objectively. This assessment includes understanding the motivations and weaknesses of those who have caused harm, as well as the potential consequences of any actions taken. The goal is to craft a response that is effective and meaningful, rather than reactive and destructive. One of the key elements of impactful revenge is timing. Unlike impulsive acts that may provide temporary satisfaction but little lasting effect, calculated revenge is executed at a moment that maximizes its impact. This timing can catch the offenders off guard, amplifying the sense of justice served. It also allows the person seeking revenge to prepare thoroughly, ensuring that their actions are precise and unavoidable. In family settings, calculated revenge often involves subtlety and nuance. It may not be about overt confrontation or public displays, but rather about reclaiming dignity and respect in ways that cannot be ignored. For example, choosing to walk out of a sister-in-law's wedding after being sidelined is a powerful act of silent protest. It communicates disapproval and self-respect without engaging in direct conflict. Such actions can have a profound psychological effect on those who sought to diminish or exclude, forcing them to confront the consequences of their behavior. The impact of calculated revenge extends beyond the immediate act. It can alter family. When revenge is executed thoughtfully, it challenges the status quo and demands accountability. It can expose underlying issues that were previously ignored or suppressed, opening the door for potential change. However, this impact can be double-edged, as it may also deepen divisions if not handled with care. Revenge in family conflicts is often intertwined with the desire for recognition and validation. Being sidelined or betrayed can leave individuals feeling invisible or unimportant. Calculated revenge serves as a way to reclaim visibility and assert one's value. It is a statement that one will not be disregarded or disrespected without consequence. This assertion can be empowering, restoring a sense of agency that was lost through betrayal. The psychological motivations behind calculated revenge are complex. It is not merely about inflicting pain on others, but about restoring balance and self-respect. The person seeking revenge often grapples with conflicting emotions, including hurt, anger, and a longing for justice. The act of revenge can provide a sense of closure or catharsis, helping to heal emotional wounds. However, it also requires careful consideration to avoid perpetuating cycles of retaliation and harm. Ethical considerations play a significant role in the decision to pursue calculated revenge. While the desire for justice is understandable, the methods chosen must align with one's values and the potential consequences. Revenge that causes unnecessary harm or escalates conflict can lead to regret and further damage relationships. Thoughtful planning involves weighing these factors and choosing actions that uphold personal integrity while addressing the wrongs suffered. In some cases, calculated revenge may involve reclaiming one's narrative and reputation. When family members attempt to sideline or diminish someone, they often control the story told within the family or community. Revenge can take the form of asserting one's truth, sharing one's perspective, and challenging falsehoods. This reclamation of voice is a powerful form of resistance and empowerment. The role of patience in calculated revenge cannot be overstated. Unlike impulsive reactions, calculated revenge may require waiting for the right moment or opportunity. This patience demonstrates discipline and strategic thinking. It also allows emotions to settle, reducing the risk of actions driven solely by anger or hurt. The ability to wait and plan reflects a deep commitment to achieving meaningful and lasting outcomes. Calculated revenge can also involve leveraging social dynamics and alliances within the family. Understanding relationships, loyalties, and influences can inform the strategy, making the response more effective. For example, gaining support from other family members or highlighting inconsistencies in the behavior of those who betrayed can amplify the impact. This social aspect adds complexity to the planning and execution of revenge. The consequences of calculated revenge are far-reaching. While it can restore a sense of justice and self-worth, it may also lead to ongoing tension or estrangement within the family. The person seeking revenge must be prepared to face these outcomes and consider whether they are willing to accept them. In some cases, revenge may close the door to reconciliation, while in others, it may serve as a catalyst for honest dialogue and healing. The emotional aftermath of calculated revenge is multifaceted. Individuals may feel a sense of empowerment and relief, having taken control of a painful situation. However, they may also experience lingering sadness or regret, especially if the revenge leads to further family discord. Processing these emotions is an important part of moving forward and finding peace. Calculated revenge is often portrayed in literature and media as a dramatic and decisive act. In real life, however, it is usually more subtle and complex. It requires a balance between assertiveness and restraint, between justice and compassion. This balance is difficult to achieve, but essential for ensuring that revenge serves a constructive purpose rather than perpetuating harm. The cultural context can influence how revenge is perceived and enacted within families. In some cultures, revenge may be seen as a necessary response to dishonor or betrayal, while in others, forgiveness and reconciliation are emphasized. Understanding these cultural norms helps individuals navigate their choices and anticipate the reactions of others. Ultimately, calculated and impactful revenge is about reclaiming power and dignity in the aftermath of betrayal. It is a response that demands respect and recognition, challenging those who sought to harm or exclude. When executed thoughtfully, it can transform pain into strength and injustice into a catalyst for change. Regret and consequences for the offenders in the context of family betrayal and conflict are profound and multifaceted, often extending far beyond the immediate moment of wrongdoing. When family members engage in actions that hurt, exclude, or betray one another, the repercussions ripple through relationships, emotions, and even future interactions. The offenders, Those who cause pain through their choices may initially act out of selfishness, jealousy, or misunderstanding. But the aftermath frequently brings a heavy burden of regret and a host of consequences that affect both themselves and the family as a whole. Regret is a natural emotional response that arises when individuals recognize that their actions have caused harm, especially to those they care about. In family settings, this recognition can be particularly painful because family bonds are expected to be based on love, trust, and mutual respect. When these bonds are broken, offenders may experience guilt, shame, and sorrow. These feelings stem from the awareness that their behavior has damaged relationships that are supposed to be enduring and supportive. The weight of regret can be intensified by the knowledge that some wounds may be difficult or impossible to fully heal. The consequences for offenders often manifest in strained or severed relationships. Family members who have been betrayed or disrespected may withdraw emotionally or physically, creating distance that is hard to bridge. This estrangement can lead to loneliness and isolation for both parties. Offenders may find themselves excluded from family gatherings, conversations, or decision-making processes, losing the sense of belonging that family typically provides. The social fabric of the family becomes frayed, and rebuilding trust requires significant effort and time. In many cases, regret prompts offenders to reflect deeply on their actions and their motivations. This self-reflection can be a catalyst for personal growth and change. Recognizing the pain they have caused, offenders may seek to make amends through apologies, changed behavior, or efforts to repair relationships. Genuine remorse and accountability are essential components of healing, as they demonstrate a commitment to restoring trust and respect. However, the path to redemption is often challenging and requires patience from all involved. The emotional toll of regret on offenders can be heavy. Feelings of guilt and shame may lead to anxiety, depression, or lowered self-esteem. These emotions can be compounded by the fear of rejection or the uncertainty about whether forgiveness is possible. Offenders may struggle with self-forgiveness, which is a crucial step in moving forward. Without self-compassion, the burden of regret can become overwhelming, hindering the ability to make positive changes. Consequences for offenders are not limited to emotional and relational aspects. They can also have practical implications. Family conflicts can affect inheritance, caregiving roles, and participation in family traditions or businesses. Offenders who have damaged relationships may find themselves excluded from important family decisions or support networks. This exclusion can have tangible effects on their lives, especially in cultures or communities where family ties are central to social and economic well-being. The impact of regret and consequences extends beyond the immediate family circle. Offenders may experience social stigma or judgment from extended family, friends, or community members who are aware of the conflict. This external pressure can add to the sense of isolation and motivate efforts toward reconciliation. Conversely, it can also entrench divisions if individuals feel unfairly judged or misunderstood. In some situations, offenders may attempt to minimize or deny their role in the conflict, which can exacerbate tensions. Lack of acknowledgement or refusal to take responsibility often leads to further hurt and mistrust. This defensive stance can prolong conflicts and make resolution more difficult. On the other hand, Openness to feedback and willingness to engage in honest dialogue are critical for overcoming regret and mitigating consequences. The process of reconciliation after betrayal involves complex emotional work for both offenders and those they have wronged. Forgiveness is a key element, but is not always easily granted. It requires time, empathy, and often the rebuilding of trust through consistent actions. Offenders who demonstrate sincere remorse and a commitment to change increase the likelihood of healing relationships. However, forgiveness does not imply forgetting or excusing harmful behavior. It is a conscious choice to release resentment and move forward. Regret can also lead offenders to reevaluate their values and priorities. The pain caused by family conflict may inspire a deeper understanding of the importance of empathy, respect, and communication. This transformation can influence future behavior, not only within the family, but in other relationships as well. The lessons learned from regret and its consequences can foster greater emotional intelligence and maturity. The cultural context plays a significant role in how regret and consequences are experienced and addressed. Different cultures have varying expectations regarding family loyalty, conflict resolution, and expressions of remorse. In some cultures, public acknowledgement of wrongdoing and formal apologies are essential, while in others, private reconciliation and maintaining harmony are prioritized. Understanding these cultural nuances is important for navigating the complexities of family conflict and healing. Offenders may also face internal conflicts between their desire for reconciliation and feelings of pride or fear of vulnerability. Admitting fault and seeking forgiveness can be perceived as signs of weakness, especially in families where strength and authority are highly valued. Overcoming these barriers requires courage and a willingness to embrace humility. This process can ultimately strengthen character and relationships. The consequences of family betrayal and the accompanying regret can influence future generations. Patterns of behavior, communication styles, and emotional responses are often passed down, shaping how descendants relate to one another. Addressing these issues thoughtfully can break cycles of dysfunction and promote healthier family dynamics. Offenders who take responsibility and work toward healing contribute to this positive legacy. In some cases, the consequences for offenders may include legal or financial repercussions, particularly if family conflicts involve disputes over property, inheritance, or caregiving responsibilities. These practical outcomes add another layer of complexity to the emotional and relational consequences. Navigating these challenges often requires mediation, legal advice, or professional support. The journey from regret to reconciliation is rarely linear. Offenders may experience setbacks, resistance, or ongoing conflict. Persistence, patience, and genuine effort are necessary to overcome these obstacles. Support from counselors, mediators, or trusted family members can facilitate this process, providing guidance and fostering constructive communication. Ultimately, the experience of regret and consequences for offenders highlights the profound interconnectedness of family relationships. Actions that harm one member reverberate throughout the family system, affecting everyone involved. Recognizing this interconnectedness encourages accountability and compassion, fostering an environment where healing and growth are possible.